Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Abhishek Mahajan, coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi takes stock of the situation at the Air India Ahmedabad plane crash site and the hospital, barring one miracle survivor, 241 passengers and crew killed in the London-bound flight on Thursday. Formal investigation underway in the crash incident. Government constitutes high-level committee. DNA sampling process for relatives underway. Condolences pour in from across the world. US President Donald Trump, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, Canadian PM Mark Carney expressed grief. Iran plans harsh response. Iraq closes airspace after Israel targets Iran's nuclear facilities, missile factories and commanders. World leaders express alarm. India urges its nationals in Israel and Iran to remain vigilant and adhere to the safety protocols. Embassies of India ask Indians to exercise caution and stay close to safety shelters. US appeals court allows Trump to keep National Guard deployed to Los Angeles for now. Temporarily pauses lower court's ruling blocking the mobilization. Prime Minister Narendra Modi reached Ahmedabad this morning to take stock of the situation at the site of the Air India flight crash. The Prime Minister arrived at the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel Airport and drove straight to the crash site in the Meghani Nagar area. In a tweet after the visit, PM Modi said, and I quote him here, "The scene of devastation is saddening. Met officials and teams working tirelessly in the aftermath. Our thoughts remain with those who lost their loved ones in this unimaginable tragedy." He further said, "We are all devastated by the air tragedy in Ahmedabad. The loss of so many lives in such a sudden and heartbreaking manner is beyond words. Condolences to all the bereaved families. We understand their pain and also know that the void left behind will be felt for years to come. Om Shanti." And after being briefed about the situation at the crash site, he proceeded to the hospital where the injured were being treated. Gujarat Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel, Union Civil Aviation Minister Ram Mohan Naidu, Union MOS Muralidhar Mohol and State Home Minister Harsh Sanghvi were also present with the Prime Minister. Earlier, PM Modi had said that the tragedy in Ahmedabad has stunned and saddened everyone. It is heartbreaking beyond words. In this sad hour, his thoughts are with everyone affected by it. The Prime Minister has been in touch with ministers and authorities who are working to assist those affected. Prime Minister Modi also chaired a meeting with ministers and senior officials at Ahmedabad Airport to take stock of the situation in the wake of Air India plane crash. And the sole survivor of the crash, a British national of Indian origin, is in hospital. DD India's Meghna Dev spoke to him a short while back. Take a listen.
The lone survivor who miraculously survived this fatal air crash is with us, is undergoing treatment at the civil hospital in Ahmedabad. What was the situation yesterday? Can you describe for us, please?
I can't explain. Everything happened in my eye. I can't.
How did you manage to escape? Did you pull the emergency doors?
No. Emergency door is broken.
Yeah.
My seat is broken.
Yeah.
Then I see the pace little bit.
Yeah.
Then I will try to come out.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why.
So, did the aircraft catch fire before you came out?
Yes.
Okay.
A little bit fire. After me, I'm out. Then blast.
So, did anybody help you, or you after that you came out on your own? How did you jump from the aircraft?
I'm not jumping.
Okay.
I just walk out, innit?
Okay.
Then ambulance coming in.
You did walk out on the building, or
No, in floor.
on the floor?
Yes.
Okay.
Inside the aeroplane.
Only the airplane.
Yeah.
So, and you managed to get into the ambulance there? What did Prime Minister tell you? What was the conversation?
He's just asking me everything is okay. Na? That's it.
You're feeling better now.
Yes.
And where your family? Where's your family?
Everybody is in London. Yes. Me and my brother staying in India last 8-9 months. And yesterday I was going to back to London. It happened everything there.
How do you feel that you have survived this kind of?
I can't explain. It's miracle everything.
So here we have the lone survivor of the attack, definitely at a loss of words of what he saw yesterday, and definitely something that nobody can encapsulate in words in terms of the massive tragedy that has struck with this airplane crash. What we also understand that this lone survivor is the only witness of what had happened that day. Besides, a number of people who were at the hostel mess during lunch have also faced serious injuries and are being treated at this hospital, the civil hospital here in Ahmedabad. With camera person Vinod Oja, this is Meghna Dev for DD India from Ahmedabad, Gujarat.
And DD India correspondent Meghna Dev also spoke to survivors from BJ Medical College in Ahmedabad, where the Air India flight tragically crashed into a hostel building. Local residents rushed to rescue the students with some sustaining injuries themselves. The hospital authorities and local administration have since extended full support in their recovery. Both students and residents recounted the terrifying moments of the crash and how they managed to survive such a horrifying incident.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi met the people who were seriously injured in the plane crash in Ahmedabad. We are inside the ward where the people who are injured have been admitted and are undergoing treatment. We'll speak to a few of them. Most of them we get to know are the MBBS students who were in the hostel. Can you tell us what did you see and how is your status now? Are you feeling better?
Yes, ma'am. I am feeling much better now. And we were eating in our mess when we saw from our windows that there were buildings rumbling, and then I thought it was earthquake, and then we found out it was plane crash, and we were taken out of it, and the doctors managed it real well.
So, how were you rescued from there? If you can vaguely remember.
I came outside myself. I pushed the rumble out myself, and before the team could arrive, I was outside this.
Were there more students there inside?
Yes, ma'am. There were about 50 or 60 of us on the first floor.
Prime Minister came and spoke to you guys. What did he say?
He asked about where are you from, what are you doing there, how did you respond to the situation, and that's all he asked about, and he prayed for the wellness of the.
What did you see yesterday? How was the situation? Did you guys run, or how many of you guys managed to escape the situation?
First loud sound came, and then the walls break, and the shattered walls came up from हमारे ऊपर आ गई थी, and then we were I am not able to move. Then I slowly try to move my hands and try to release myself from the rubble, and then some people came. My friend tried to help me, but they didn't. Then a blast happens of a cylinder, and I told them to run, so they go away, and later a man come for rescue.
How has been the administration's response to bring you guys and give you the treatment immediately?
Yeah, it was swift, and I was taken care of very rapidly, and doctors are also good.
आप किस तरीके से आपको चोट लगी है?
नहीं, मैं अंदर हेल्प कर रहा था, सबको बचाने जा रहा था, बिल्डिंग में घुस गया था। वहाँ पे क्या धुआं बहुत था, तो धुएं की वजह से 7-8 लोगों को हमने निकाल लिया था। फिर वापस क्या अप डाउन किया ना नीचे से ऊपर, तो एनर्जी लो हो गई थी। फिर मैं ज़्यादा अंदर चला गया था, धुआं बहुत था, तो मेरे आंखों में दिखना ही बंद हो गया था, और धुएं के हिसाब से।
अभी आपको बेहतर महसूस हो रहा है? आपकी ट्रीटमेंट हुई है?
हाँ, ट्रीटमेंट बहुत अच्छा हो गया, मैं एकदम कम्प्लीट हो गया।
कितने लोग मदद के लिए दौड़े थे वहाँ पर जब हुआ था ये?
मेरे पास एक लड़का भी था, मैं उसे नहीं जानता, वो बाजू में मेरी तरह ही वो भी एडमिट है, और 2 आर्मी के कमांडो थे हमारे पास जो मदद कर रहे थे, और थोड़े बहुत वहाँ के जो हॉस्टल के स्टाफ के लड़के थे ना, वो भी आ गए थे ऊपर।
So treatment is being given to the people who have been seriously injured so that they can get well soon as well as early as possible, and all measures are being taken by the hospital authorities to ensure that the people who have been injured are given the best treatment, and the prompt response, as people tell us, the prompt response of the authorities, administration and the local people did result in bringing them to the hospital on time. With camera person Vinod Oja, this is Meghna Dev, 40D India from Ahmedabad, Gujarat.
All right, big news coming in here. An Air India flight en route from Phuket to Delhi made a precautionary landing today after a security threat was reported on board. The flight AI 379 landed safely and all passengers and crew are confirmed to be safe. There are no reports of any injuries. So big news here. Air India flight en route from Phuket to Delhi made a precautionary landing today after a security threat was reported on board. AI 379 landed safely and all passengers and crew are confirmed to be safe. For more information, DD India's Tapas Bhattacharya joins us from the newsroom. Tapas, what details do you have on bomb threat, and hope all passengers there are safe?
Precautionary measure that was taken once the pilot received that information that there's a threat. In fact, we were told by our sources that the threat was found on a particular bathroom wall. It was written. So pilot was actually took the decision, and they decided to come back to Phuket for a precautionary measure and just to get information check. In fact, we've been told that the discovery was done while the flight was on air, and there were 156 passengers there was on board, and the pilot therefore brought the aircraft back to land at Phuket for inspection, and the airport authority were notified for the same. And we were told also that right now all the airport contingency plan were implemented in for the particular aircraft, and they went through all the checks to make sure that there is no bomb or any other security alert that is there. But what I can tell you that all the passengers are safe. There were no injuries. Everything was everything was found absolutely normal. So yeah, that's the basic. That's the latest that is coming in from Phuket International Airport.
You're saying all necessary preparations had been made in response to the threat. So you're saying preliminary search didn't find anything in the flight?
Absolutely, nothing was found on the plane, and that's there's an airport contingency plan that a particular airport generally it kicks in once you report about a security threat. So that when that kicks in and when the passengers were taken out, then the whole plane were frisked for any sort of a threat because of a perception. There was no bomb, or there was no material that was found that could have led to a threat perception. So that's the latest that we are getting from there. We were told by unofficial sources, and it's not official, but the pilot on the Air India flight AIC 379 from Phuket to Delhi discovered a message in a particular bathroom. So that's where they decided to take the plane back to Phuket.
And also, Tapas, if you could tell us what are the procedures that are followed when the emergency landing is done and the threats of such kind are received?
So the pilot actually notifies the air traffic controller, and then the AOT is notified. They notify the Phuket airport, and after that there is as I mentioned, there is an airport contingency plan that kicks in. There the same thing is there also in Delhi. The same thing is there in any of the international airport in India. So whenever the pilot or the ATC or anybody receives this particular threat perception, they notify the concerned authorities, and then they were taken out, and the frisking of the plane takes place, and that's exactly what happened at that time. And as I mentioned, no bomb was found. It was a precautionary measure that the Air India authorities took because of the perception that the pilot got from that particular message.
All right, Tapas, we'll leave it there. Thank you for getting us the updates on that story. At least 241 people were killed after an Air India flight crashed near the Ahmedabad airport on Thursday in one of India's worst aviation disasters. The 787 Dreamliner bound for London's Gatwick Airport took off at 1:38 p.m. local time and crashed just 5 minutes after takeoff in a residential area. The plane crashed onto a medical college hostel during lunch hour. Air India said 241 people on board the flight died, and the sole survivor, a British national of Indian origin, is in hospital. He was in seat 11A next to an emergency exit. The deceased include 169 Indians, 52 British nationals, 7 Portuguese and 1 Canadian passenger. Former Gujarat Chief Minister Vijay Rupani was among those killed on the ill-fated Air India plane. In addition to his wife Anjali Rupani, the late leader is survived by their 2 children. Rupani served as the Chief Minister of Gujarat from August 2016 to September 2021 before resigning ahead of the 2022 state elections. All right, we'll go across to Ahmedabad where DD India's Meghna Dev joins us. Meghna, PM Modi visited the crash site today in the morning and met the injured in the hospital and the lone survivor. To fill us in with more details, what more you can add?
Yes, Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited the crash site and he also visited the hospital. When we actually see that most of the work at the crash site has already got over. We also do understand that not only the remains and the bodies had to be recovered from the crash site, but also there were many people who were severely injured who were taken quickly to the hospital. A green corridor created yesterday that could enable these people to reach very swiftly to the hospital, and because of that there are few people who have been saved, especially the people, the MBBS students who were at the hostel mess, who were having their lunch during when this airplane crashed on that building. So besides, we do see that most of the work at the crash site is now over. We also get to understand that when we were there at the hospital, Prime Minister Narendra Modi met the people who have suffered serious injuries, and especially one lone survivor who miraculously managed to save his life. He actually, and we spoke to him as well. He said that once the aircraft crashed, the door broke open. That's how he was able to get out of the flight and save himself. So and while the aircraft was catching fire, so there was already fire in the aircraft when he managed to come out. So that's what he told us. Especially the students, second year, third year medical students were there in the mess having their lunch. They have also told that how the locals helped them before the first responders could reach. So the locals were helping them come out of the debris. Most of the locals also went inside the smoke and tried to actually help people come out of the debris, come out of the rubble. That's why few locals also inhaled a lot of smoke. So they are also now admitted in the hospital.
And I quote, "We are aware that a flight from Ahmedabad to London has crashed near Ahmedabad airport. We are working with local authorities to urgently establish the facts and provide support. Our thoughts are with all those affected." UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, receiving updates, expressed deep sorrow, his thoughts with the passengers and their families during his harrowing tragedy. Starmer tweeted, and I quote him, "The scenes emerging of a London-bound plane carrying many British nationals crashing in the Indian city of Ahmedabad are devastating. I'm being kept updated as the situation develops, and my thoughts are with the passengers and their families at this deeply distressing time." And Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney also extended condolences. In a post on X, he said, and I quote, "Devastated to learn of the crash of a London-bound Air India plane in Ahmedabad carrying 242 passengers, including one Canadian. My thoughts are with the loved ones of everyone on board. Canada's transportation officials are in close contact with counterparts, and I am receiving regular updates as the response to this tragedy unfolds." In other big news, Israel has struck Iran, targeting its nuclear plant and military sites. Israel said it has also targeted Iranian commanders and missile factories, its ballistic missile program, and its Iranian scientists working on a nuclear bomb in an operation that would continue for days. Take a listen.
We struck at the heart of Iran's nuclear enrichment program. We struck at the heart of Iran's nuclear weaponization program. We targeted Iran's main enrichment facility in Natanz. We targeted Iran's leading nuclear scientists working on the Iranian bomb. We also struck at the heart of Iran's ballistic missile program.
And Israel's attack on Iran on Friday killed the country's powerful Revolutionary Guards chief Hossein Salami. Iranian state media has confirmed the killing of Salami in the Israeli strike. Nuclear scientists Abbasi Davani and Mohammad Mehdi were also killed in Israeli strikes on Friday. Iran's Revolutionary Guards vowed revenge after the killing of its chief in Israeli attacks on the country. And in view of the current situation in Iran, Embassy of India in Iran has issued an advisory for all Indian nationals and persons of Indian origin in Iran. The advisory says all are requested to remain vigilant, avoid all unnecessary movements, follow the embassy's social media accounts, and observe safety protocols as advised by the local authorities. And Embassy of India in Israel has also issued an advisory for all Indian nationals that has advised to stay vigilant and adhere to the safety protocols by the Israeli authorities and Home Front Command. And the United States Embassy in Jerusalem issued a security alert in the early hours of Friday too. The alert said, and I quote, "As a result of the current security situation, the U.S. Embassy has directed all U.S. government employees and their family members to shelter in place until further notice." And the international reaction after Israel's attack on Iran has begun. Speaking at a news conference moments after news of the Israeli attacks broke, Prime Minister of New Zealand Christopher Luxon and Australian Foreign Minister Penny Wong reacted to the situation. Take a listen.
It's a really unwelcome development in the Middle East. You know, the risk of miscalculation is high. That region does not need any more military action and risk associated with that.
Alarmed by the escalation between Israel and Iran. This risks further destabilising a region that is already volatile. We call on all parties to refrain from actions and rhetoric that would further exacerbate tensions.
A U.S. appeals court on Thursday temporarily allowed President Donald Trump to continue deploying National Guard troops in Los Angeles during ongoing protests against intensified immigration enforcement. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals paused an earlier ruling by U.S. District Judge Charles Breyer, who had declared the deployment unlawful and ordered the Guard returned to California Governor Gavin Newsom's control. Although the pause does not indicate the appeals court's final stance, it allows Trump to retain authority over the Guard for now. The decision follows a week of protests centered around a federal detention center in downtown Los Angeles, where National Guard troops have been stationed. The Guard has also accompanied ICE agents during enforcement operations across the city. Well, that's all we have in this edition of DD India Live, but do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Abhishek Mahajan from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.